I know whenever God is giving me revelation, it's not just for me, it's for others. Being called and chosen is not just for you. Remember that, it's for others. So I will say this. The other day, I went to physical therapy. I've had 2 appointments now for my back. So I do deal with lower back pain. I really don't want to claim that. Just letting you know what is right now. However, I do know God is a healer, so he can do anything. So at this moment, well, for some time, I have been dealing with lower back pain. I want to say it's like L1 and 2. I think there's a slightly bulged disc there, and I found all this out in Virginia some time ago. And then the lower back, L4 and 5, it used to be the beginning stages of degenerative disc disease, which is, however, it may have progressed by now. Either way, since I've been here in Texas at the city of Plano, I went to this company called Airrosti, Airrosti. I think is how it's spelled and what it's called, Airrosti. Okay. And a lot of people at the city, they swear by this place. So I said, okay, I'll check it out. When I was in Virginia, I used to see a couple of pain management doctors. I've had steroid injections, been on pain meds for years, that type of thing. But I'm not taking anything. I've been pain medication free from anything strong. I would say substance wise or prescribed substance wise for probably 3 years now. Okay. But that was a process in itself. But anyways, when I started this physical therapy just a couple of weeks ago, I've had 2 visits. I did not expect what I expected, okay? It was very painful. And just to give you a little bit of background, my right leg, I've been waking up at night here and there with pain, just like, what's going on with my leg? Why is my leg bothering me? And then not noticing, at work, sometimes my foot was numb. And I'm like, what is my foot? Why does it feel numb? I'm thinking maybe my sneaker is tied too tight or whatever. So I would untie my shoe. And then I prayed about it, and God was like, your foot, it's tied to your back, and I just, for whatever reason, I put it together before, but I didn't this time. Reason being, it was a sciatic nerve that was bothering me. So I could feel that pain in my sciatic nerve over the last several months or so. And I was like, wow, so it's traveling down to my foot now, and the pain is waking me up. That's what's going on with that. So going to physical therapy, he went really deep, just like a deep tissue massage. And that thing, I was like, I was not expecting this at all. And if you've had a deep tissue massage, it's painful. Actually, this felt just a little bit worse. So when I went last week, he did it again. But this time it was on the left side. And I was like, it seems like he made it worse. Once I started with physical therapy, I'm thinking I felt better like for a minute while I was there after it was over. But then it felt like it was getting worse, okay? And I was like, this is not what I expected. So, and I will say that to you guys, let me stop right there and say this. A lot of times when we surrender our lives to Christ, not a lot of times, but when we do surrender, we feel like things are getting worse in our lives. It may look worse or appear to be worse. But the thing is this, you're making corrections. So when you're making corrections in your life to follow Christ, to do things his way, I'm not going to say it's always painful. It can be uncomfortable because it's different. You're doing something completely opposite from what you're used to doing. And just like I'm doing here in therapy, my body's not used to this. That nerve, as he's pushing and kneading, almost like kneading dough, it's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? And he was like, well, if you want me to stop, I will. Let me know if it's too rough. And I said, no, just do what you have to do. And that's how we feel in life. A lot of times we want to just kind of stop. We back off because it's painful. But I'm here to tell you, don't back off. Keep moving. Do whatever it is you need to do to get to the other side of this, because on the other side is going to be freedom. And that's how I feel with this pain. On the other side, it will be freedom. I can do whatever it is God has called me to do with ease, with a bit more comfort, and not feeling like, I'm in pain all the time, okay? So when I was in Virginia for years, I was on pain medication. I was taking hydrocodone for a long time. And I thought, this is the way it's going to always be, dealing with this back pain. However, as time went on, once I started my journey in 2019, I was like, Lord, I don't want to be on these medications like this, being basically chained to the medication. Every time I need to go out of town or do this or do that, I got to make sure I have my meds, No, I just didn't want that life. That was not the life for me. So I stopped taking. I prayed about it. I asked God to show me how, walk me through this. And that's what the Holy Spirit did. And that's what He's there for you as well, to do the same thing, to help walk you through. So slowly but surely, the Holy Spirit, I knew when it was time. I was praying one night, and I just finished worshiping. I listened to a message, and I just knew, okay, it's time to let the medication go. And that's what I did. And I went through a deep depression. However, I said, I got to get through this. I got to get through. Just keep moving. It's going to be okay. The Holy Spirit is what carried me through. It was His strength. All right. So I want you to know that today, I was taking these pain medications, and I stopped because even though the medication was helping with the physical pain, it was also masking my emotional pain. And I knew in order to get to what God has for me and to be the person He's created me to be, I had to come off of these medications. I had to get off. I needed to be free and clear. But the enemy had me thinking that I would be on them for the rest of my life. The devil is a lie. And y'all, excuse me, the dog is over here, in his crate right now. But anyways, so basically, I just want you to know, I'm going to ask you this. What is your therapy? What are you using as therapy to feel better? What is your vice? A lot of times we don't recognize that the things that we are turning to outside of ourselves are what we're using to feel better. It could be, for some, pain medication. It could be alcohol, just shopping, overeating, the things like that. And you may say, even with overeating, how is that a problem? I'm not hurting anyone else. Well, you're hurting yourself. You cannot be the person God has created you to be if you're dealing with gluttony in your lives, overeating, with anything that you're overstimulating yourself with. So I just want to say to you that anything you're turning to outside of yourself, you're going to need more of. And all it does is dig you deeper into that hole. If you're overeating, it could be high blood pressure, high cholesterol, just all of the things, diabetes, things like that. If you're overspending, you're in debt. Everything that we do too much of now, you're having to try to bring yourself up out of that. And then you feel like I'm too far in to get out. And you miss out. You give up on the things that God has for you. So I just wanted to share that with you today. In order to receive what God has for you and be the person He's created you to be, you're going to have to go deep. You can no longer mask the pain. You're going to have to go deep and get to the root of the problem. Just like I thought, my foot is bothering me, feeling it in my sciatic nerve and then my foot, but really it's coming from my back. It's stemming from the back, the nerve pain in the back, and it's traveling down. So with this doctor, we're getting to the root of the problem versus me just taking pills, and now I do take ibuprofen for it, but not often. I try not to because of my liver. But here's the thing. Sometimes I feel like I need something stronger, but I know all that's doing is masking the pain. And what I want to do is get to the root of the pain. And that's what I want you to do. Get to the root cause of whatever it is. Because see, what you see on top, it could be committing adultery. It could be overeating, drinking, spending, drugs, alcohol, seeking validation through relationships, or just, overstimulating yourself with sex. Whatever it is, those are the symptoms to something much deeper. And in order for you to be all that God has created you to be, you're going to have to go deep. Like He had to go deep up under this muscle. One side, it was getting to the nerve. The other side, He was going under the muscle to deal with the inflammation. Because all it does when we seek outside things, outside of God, outside of what's in us, then it expands. We experience inflammation. It affects everything around us, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you. God gave me that revelation, and I needed to share that with someone. There is somebody that needs to hear this today. God is the answer to the issues in your life. So if you want to be all that He's created you to be and do, you're going to have to let go. Complete surrender is what's required.